Dr. Na Kim was drinking her third cup of coffee when the signal appeared on her screen. At first, she thought it was just another space debris alert. But this was different. The pattern was too regular, too precise to be natural. "Someone get me the director," she called out to her team at the Global Space Communications Center in Seoul. Her hands moved quickly across the keyboard as she worked to clean up the signal. The message repeated every 10 minutes. It wasn't radio waves or light signals like scientists had expected from alien contact. Instead, it used gravity waves, something humans had only recently learned to detect. Director Park walked into the room, fixing his tie. "This better be important, Dr. Kim. It's 3 a.m. "Sir, look at this pattern." Na pointed to her screen. "It's artificial. And it's coming from just beyond Mars' orbit." The director's tired expression changed to one of surprise. "Are you saying?" "Yes, sir. We're not alone anymore." Within hours, the center was full of scientists, government officials, and military personnel. Na worked with her team to decode the message. It took them 3 days of non-stop work, but they finally did it. The message was simple. To the developing species of Sol 3, Earth, the Galactic Alliance sends greetings. What followed was a set of instructions for building a more advanced communication device. The device would let them talk to the aliens in real time. Na led the team that built the device. It took them 2 weeks, working day and night. When they finished, they sent out the signal to show they were ready. The response was immediate. A hologram appeared in the center of their lab. It showed a tall, slender alien with silver skin and large, dark eyes. The alien spoke perfect English. "Greetings, humans. I am Representative Alderi 7 of the Galactic Alliance. We have been watching your progress for some time." Na noticed something in the alien's tone. It reminded her of how adults sometimes talk to very young children. She didn't like it. "Thank you for contacting us," she replied professionally. "We are honored to meet another intelligent species." The alien's expression didn't change, but its tone became even more condescending. "Yes, we have noticed your species beginning to take its first steps into space. Very impressive for your level of development." Director Park stepped forward. "We are eager to learn and share knowledge with the Alliance." "Oh, of course," the alien said. "The Alliance has many programs to help developing species like yours. We can guide you, teach you the proper way to join galactic society. After all, we wouldn't want you to hurt yourselves with technology you're not ready for." Na felt her face grow hot. She had worked hard to become one of Earth's top scientists. The idea that her species needed to be treated like children made her angry, but she kept her voice calm. "We look forward to learning more about these programs," she said. "When can we begin formal diplomatic talks?" The alien seemed pleased with her response. "We will send a diplomatic ship to your solar system within one of your Earth months. Please prepare your leaders for this historic meeting." After the hologram disappeared, Na turned to Director Park. "Sir, did you notice how they treated us?" The director nodded slowly. "Like we were clever pets who learned a new trick." He looked out the window at the Seoul skyline. "Let's keep watching and learning. Something tells me we need to be very careful about our new friends." Na agreed. As she looked at the data from their communication, she couldn't help but wonder, what did the Alliance really want from Earth? And why did they seem so sure humans wouldn't be able to handle advanced technology? She had a feeling Earth was about to face its biggest challenge yet. But if there was one thing she knew about humans, it was that they didn't like being told what they couldn't do. The next few weeks would change everything, not just for Na and her team, but for all of humanity. Ambassador Do-hyun Park stood at the viewing window of the Alliance space station, watching ships come and go. After 3 weeks at the Galactic Alliance headquarters, he had learned to tell the different species apart by their ship designs. But something bothered him about the traffic patterns. "Jae-yun," he called to his aide. "Have you noticed that some species are only allowed to dock in the outer rings?" Jae-yun looked up from her datapad. "Yes, sir. Those are the developing species ships. The Alliance says it's for safety reasons. Do-hyun frowned. He had been watching carefully since Earth's delegation arrived. The Alliance talked about equality, but their actions told a different story. During another boring meeting about trade rules, Do-hyun noticed something interesting. The Alliance member speaking kept talking about proper resource management and guided development. But Do-hyun saw what these nice-sounding words really meant. The newer species had to sell their raw materials at low prices to the older Alliance members. "We should look into this more," he told Jae-yun after the meeting. "Can you get access to the Alliance's public records?" Jae-yun nodded and started her research. She was good at finding information others missed. 3 days later, she came to Do-hyun's office, looking worried. "Sir, you need to see this," she said, placing her datapad on his desk. "I found documents about other species who recently joined the Alliance. Look at what happened to them." Do-hyun read through the files. His face grew darker with each page. The pattern was clear. New species were first welcomed warmly. Then came trade restrictions, always for their own protection. Soon they had to accept unfair deals that left their worlds poor, while Alliance worlds grew richer. "There's more," Jae-yun said quietly. "I found a draft of their plans for Earth. They're already calling us a resource-rich developing world in need of guidance." Do-hyun stood up and walked to the window again. Below he could see the ships of older Alliance members, shiny and well-maintained, while the ships of newer species looked worn and old. "Send copies of everything to Earth," he ordered. "But be careful. Use our secure channel." That evening, Do-hyun attended a dinner with Alliance officials. He watched as they smiled and talked about helping Earth join galactic society. Now he understood the real meaning behind their words. An Alliance member approached him, holding a drink. "Ambassador Park, we hope you're enjoying your stay. Have you considered our offer of Alliance advisors for your major industries?" Do-hyun smiled politely, remembering the documents Jae-yun found. "We're still studying all the options. Earth likes to be thorough in such matters." Of course, the alien said. "But don't take too long. Some opportunities don't last forever." The threat was subtle, but Do-hyun heard it clearly. Later, in his private quarters, he recorded a message to Earth's leaders. "The Alliance is not what it seems," he reported. "They don't want partners. They want servants, and they expect us to give up our freedom in exchange for their protection. We must be prepared for what comes next." He sent the message, knowing Earth needed time to get ready. The Alliance thought humans were simple and easy to control. Do-hyun smiled to himself, thinking of Earth's long history. Humans had faced bullies before. They knew how to deal with them. As he looked out at the stars, Do-hyun remembered an old Earth saying, "Beware the fury of a patient man." Soon, the Alliance would learn why that warning had survived so long on humanity's death world. Captain Taiwan Choi stood on the bridge of the Earth Defense Force ship, the Pacific Guardian, watching the Alliance vessel move through Earth's space. This was the third time this week they had come too close to Earth's orbital stations. Each time, they claimed they were monitoring for safety. "Another safety check," his second-in-command asked, trying to hide her anger. "They say they're protecting us," Taiwan said, watching the alien ship's movements. "But I wonder who they're really protecting." The Alliance ship was bigger than the Pacific Guardian, with weapons that could easily destroy Earth's best ships. But Taiwan noticed something interesting. They always kept their distance from Earth itself. They never came below high orbit. Meanwhile, in a secret lab under the mountains of South Korea, Dr. Hae-jin Kang was making a discovery. She had been studying pieces of Alliance technology that Earth's spies had collected. What she found made her smile. "Their systems aren't as advanced as they want us to think," she told her team. "They stopped improving many years ago. They just kept using the same old designs." Hae-jin's team worked day and night, finding ways to improve Earth's defenses. They discovered that Alliance ships had trouble working well in strong gravity fields. This was why they never came too close to Earth. They evolved on low-gravity worlds. He Jin explained to military leaders in a secret meeting. Their ships are built for space, not for fighting near planets like Earth. We can use this. Back in space, Captain Taiwan was recording every move the Alliance ships made. He noticed they always used the same patrol routes, the same tactics. They never changed their plans, never tried anything new. One day, an Alliance commander called Taiwan's ship. "Your vessel is not following proper procedures for developing species," the alien said. "You must lower your shield strength to approved levels." Taiwan kept his voice calm. "I apologize, but our shields are needed at this strength to protect against solar radiation. Earth's scientists have confirmed this." "Your scientists are primitive," the Alliance commander said. "You will follow our guidelines, or we will be forced to take protective action." After the call ended, Taiwan sent a message to Earth Command. "They're getting more aggressive. They're trying to make us defenseless." That evening, he received a coded message from Dr. He Jin's lab. What he read made him smile for the first time in weeks. Earth scientists had found a way to hide their real shield strength from Alliance scanners. They could now appear weak while actually growing stronger. "Keep watching," his orders said. "Let them think they have us under control." Taiwan looked at the Alliance ships through his window. They were so sure of themselves, so certain they knew everything about humans. They didn't understand that humans had survived on Earth because they never stopped learning, never stopped improving. "Sir," his communication officer called. "Another Alliance ship is requesting permission to enter our space. They say it's for our protection." "Let them come," Taiwan said quietly. "Let them think we're just following orders like good little primitives." He knew that somewhere on Earth, He Jin and her team were building better weapons. Ambassador Park was gathering more evidence of Alliance crimes. Earth's leaders were making plans. The Alliance thought humans were scared of their power. Soon they would learn that on a death world like Earth, power alone meant nothing. Survival meant being ready for anything, and humans had been surviving for a very long time. Chief Negotiator Min Seo-yoon sat at the large table in the United Earth Council chamber. Across from her, 3 Alliance representatives waited with their protection treaty. The room was quiet except for the soft hum of recording devices. "We have reviewed your treaty," Min Seo said, looking at the alien diplomats. "Earth must decline." The tallest alien, Superior Delegate Val 8, leaned forward. "You misunderstand. This is not a request. All developing species must accept Alliance protection. It is for your own good." Min Seo opened a folder on her desk. "Let me share what we understand perfectly well. In the past 5 years, every world that signed your protection treaty lost control of their resources. Their people became poor. Their ships can only fly where you allow." "That is not correct," Val 8 said quickly. "We guide developing species toward proper growth." Min Seo pulled out more papers. "We have proof. Trade records, secret reports, letters from other species asking for help. The Alliance is not protecting anyone. You are taking their freedom." The second alien spoke sharply. "You cannot understand galactic politics. You are too primitive." Min Seo smiled slightly. "Primitive. Humans survived on a world that would kill most Alliance species in minutes. We lived through ice ages, wars, and disasters. We kept learning, kept growing stronger." She stood up slowly. "Earth does not need your protection. We reject this treaty." Val 8's skin turned a darker shade. "Then you leave us no choice. The Alliance will establish a quarantine of your solar system. For safety reasons, of course." "Of course," Min Seo said calmly. "You will do what you think is necessary. And so will we." After the aliens left, Min Seo called a secure meeting with Earth's leaders. On screens around the room, she could see military commanders, scientists, and government officials from every major nation. "They will try to force us to accept their treaty," she told them. They will block our ships, try to stop our trade with other worlds. They think this will make us give up. Admiral Sung Ho-baek spoke from his command center. Let them think that. Our new ships are almost ready. They don't know what we've built. Dr. He Jin Kang appeared on another screen. We've finished testing our gravity shield systems. The Alliance won't be able to detect them. Min Seo nodded. How long do we need? 2 months, Admiral Baek said. Maybe 3. We must be patient. Earth has been patient. Min Seo replied. We watched. We learned. We prepared. Now we just need to wait a little longer. That evening, Alliance ships moved into position around Earth's solar system. They thought they were showing their power. They didn't realize they were falling into a trap. Min Seo watched the news reports about the quarantine. People were worried, but not afraid. Humans had faced bigger challenges before. The Alliance thought they were dealing with a young, weak species that would quickly give up. They would learn that on Earth, being young didn't mean being weak. It meant being ready to adapt, ready to fight, ready to show the galaxy why Earth was called a death world. The Alliance's patience would run out long before humanity's did. Admiral Sung Ho-baek walked through the underground shipyard, deep beneath the Pacific Ocean. Around him, workers put the final touches on Earth's new fleet. These ships looked simple on the outside, just the way they wanted them to look. But inside, they held surprises that would shock the Alliance. How are the gravity drives working? He asked Dr. Yoon Hee Shin, who led the technology development team. Better than we hoped, she answered, showing him the test results. The Alliance gave us their old technology thinking we couldn't improve it. They were wrong. Dr. Shin had studied the Alliance's captured technology and found ways to make it better. The aliens thought humans were too primitive to understand their science, but they forgot that humans had survived on Earth by always finding new ways to solve problems. Their ships are built for space battles far from any planets, Dr. Shin explained. But our ships can fight anywhere. We used Earth's gravity to make our engines stronger. The Admiral nodded, watching workers install the new engines. Above them, Alliance ships patrolled Earth's solar system, thinking they had humanity trapped. They didn't know about the shipyards hidden under Earth's oceans, protected by the very gravity that made their ships stay away. In another secret facility, soldiers trained to fight in different gravity conditions. Their suits looked simple but contained advanced technology that Dr. Shin's team had developed. The Alliance thought humans were weak because they came from a high-gravity world. They would learn that this made humans stronger, not weaker. The Alliance hasn't fought a real war in thousands of years, Admiral Bug told his officers during a secret meeting. They think their advanced technology makes them unbeatable. But they forgot the most important lesson Earth taught us. He showed them videos of Earth's history, of times when armies with better weapons lost to forces that were more creative and determined. It's not the weapons that win wars, he said. It's the warriors. Dr. Shin's team made another important discovery. The Alliance's ships all used the same computer systems, the same codes, the same ways of fighting. They never changed them because they thought their way was perfect. This would be their biggest mistake. They're predictable, Dr. Shin told the Admiral. They do everything the same way, every time. We can use that against them. While the Alliance watched Earth's official ships and satellites, they didn't notice the small changes happening in their own systems. Dr. Shin's team found ways to hide messages in the Alliance's communications. They learned everything about how the alien ships worked. How much longer do we need? Admiral Baek asked, looking at the nearly finished fleet. 2 more weeks, Dr. Shin replied. Then we'll be ready. The Admiral smiled. The Alliance thought their blockade was working. They saw Earth's official ships staying in port, Earth's space stations going quiet. They thought humans were giving up. They didn't understand that on Earth, silence didn't mean surrender. It meant preparation. Every day under the blockade made humans more determined. The Alliance's arrogance would be their downfall. Soon, very soon, They would learn why every creature on Earth had learned to adapt or die. The galaxy was about to discover what happened when humanity's patience finally ran out. Commander Jin-Woo Kwon sat in his command chair aboard the Earth-ship Silent Thunder. His crew waited quietly as their ship moved through deep space, completely invisible to Alliance sensors. Around them, 50 other Earth ships did the same, all heading toward different Alliance systems. "Time to target," Jin-Woo asked softly. 10 minutes, Commander," his navigation officer replied. "Alliance defense network still shows no sign they can detect us." Jin-Woo thought about the months of preparation that had led to this moment. The Alliance had become lazy, thinking their technology made them safe. They never guarded against attacks they thought were impossible. "All ships report ready," his communication officer said. Admiral Buck gives the go-ahead. Jin-Woo pressed a button on his chair. "This is Commander Kwon. Remember your training. Remember why we fight. Begin Operation Earthborn." Across Alliance space, Earth's ships appeared as if from nowhere. The Alliance's mighty defense network, which they thought was perfect, went dark as Dr. Shin's computer programs did their work. In system after system, Alliance ships found themselves suddenly blind and confused. "Target their communication arrays first," Jin-Woo ordered. "Don't let them call for help." The Silent Thunder moved fast, much faster than the Alliance thought possible for a primitive human ship. Their new gravity drives, built for Earth's heavy gravity, worked perfectly in space. Alliance ships, designed for the easy conditions of deep space, couldn't match their speed or power. "Sir, Alliance ships are trying to form defensive positions," his tactical officer reported. "They're following standard response pattern Alpha 7. Jin-Woo smiled. The Alliance always used the same tactics, the same responses. "Deploy our fighters exactly as we planned. They won't expect their own tactics to be used against them." Earth's fighters shot out from their carriers, moving in ways Alliance ships couldn't copy. The human pilots, raised in Earth's gravity, could handle maneuvers that would knock out pilots from lower gravity worlds. "Alliance flagship is attempting to coordinate their forces," communications reported. "But our jamming is working. They can't organize." Jin-Woo watched as the Alliance fleet fell into chaos. Their ships, all built to the same design, all programmed with the same tactics, couldn't adapt to Earth's unexpected attack. They had forgotten that on a death world, creatures survived by being unpredictable. "Sir, look," his sensor officer called out. "The Alliance ships are retreating. They're running away." The crew cheered, but Jin-Woo raised his hand for quiet. "Don't celebrate yet. This is just the first battle. Send the signal to Phase 2 teams." Across Alliance space, more Earth ships appeared, targeting the Alliance's military bases and shipyards. The Alliance had spent thousands of years building their power, thinking no one could challenge them. In just one day, humanity showed them how wrong they were. Message from Admiral Bake, communications announced. "All primary targets secured. Alliance forces are in full retreat across all sectors." Jin-Woo nodded. The Alliance had thought humans were weak because they came from a harsh world. They didn't understand that Earth's challenges had made humanity stronger. Every human carried the legacy of countless ancestors who had survived when survival seemed impossible. "Send word to all ships," Jin-Woo ordered. "Phase 1 complete. Begin Phase 2. It's time to show the galaxy that humanity is done being patient." Major Hai-Jin Moon stood in the control center of the captured Alliance space station. Around her, human technicians worked at stations once controlled by the Alliance. Through the main window, she could see Earth ships protecting the station while Alliance vessels retreated into deep space. "Report from all sectors," her assistant said. "The Alliance has lost control of their main defense network. Their ships are scattered. They cannot coordinate their forces." Hai-Jin reviewed the battle data on her screen. The Alliance had lost more than just their ships and stations. They had lost their belief that they were superior to all other species. "Show me the prisoner interviews," she ordered. The screen displayed recordings of captured Alliance officers. Their faces showed confusion and fear. "How did you defeat our best ships?" One Alliance commander asked. "Your technology should be primitive. Your tactics should be simple." Hai-Jin had answered him calmly. "You thought Earth was primitive because we had not reached your level of technology. But technology alone does not make a species strong." She explained how humans had survived on Earth. Every day, they faced dangers that would kill most Alliance species. They learned to think quickly, to adapt, to find new solutions to problems. "Your ships are more advanced," she told the Alliance commander. "But your crews train in safety. They follow the same plans every time. Our crews train in real danger. They learn to think for themselves." The Alliance commander did not understand. Like all his people, he thought their way was the only right way. "But our calculations showed we would win easily. Your ships should not be able to fight like this." Hai-Jin smiled. "That was your mistake. You tried to calculate everything. But humans know that real battles are not about calculations. They are about courage, creativity, and determination." Now, 3 days after the first attack, Hai-Jin received new reports from across Alliance space. More ships had surrendered. More stations had fallen. The mighty Alliance that had ruled the galaxy for thousands of years was running away from the species they had called primitive. "Major," a technician called. "We found their central database. You need to see this." The screen showed the Alliance's secret files. They had studied thousands of species, looking for signs of independent thinking. When they found a species that thought differently from them, they worked to control them. They were afraid, Hai-Jin realized, afraid of any species that might challenge their way of thinking. That's why they tried to control us. They feared what we might become. Her communication officer interrupted. "Major, we're receiving messages from other species, the ones the Alliance controlled. They want to talk to us." Hai-Jin nodded. "Put them through to the main screen." One by one, representatives of different species appeared, species that had lived under Alliance control for centuries. They had watched as humanity did what they had thought impossible. "We want to learn from you," they said, "not to be controlled like the Alliance did, but to learn how to be strong like humans are strong." Hai-Jin looked at her crew, seeing the pride in their faces. Humanity had not just won a military victory. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward, a way based not on control and fear, but on adaptation and growth. "Tell them we are ready to talk," she said. "The Alliance's time is over. Now we will show them what real cooperation means." Diplomat Sung Hoon Ryu walked through the halls of the new Galactic Council building on Earth. 1 year had passed since humanity defeated the Alliance. Now representatives from 100 different species filled these halls, each bringing their own ideas and experiences to help build a better galaxy. "The council session will begin in 5 minutes, his assistant reminded him. Sung Hoon nodded, checking his notes one last time. Today's meeting would change how species work together forever. Inside the great council chamber, seats arranged in circles allowed everyone to see each other equally. No species sat higher than others. No one claimed to be more important. This was the first lesson humanity had taught the galaxy. True strength came from working together as equals. "I call this session to order," Sung Hoon announced from the speaker's position. "Today we discuss the final draft of the new Galactic Charter." He looked around the room. Former Alliance worlds sat next to the species they once controlled. Worlds that had never spoken to each other now worked together. And in the middle of it all sat Earth's representatives, showing that even a young species could lead the way to positive change. The old Alliance believed that control meant strength, Sung Hoon said. They thought their way was the only right way. But Earth showed the galaxy a different truth. Every world, every species has something valuable to teach others. On the main screen, images showed the changes of the past year. Alliance technology, once kept secret, was now shared freely. Species that the Alliance had called primitive were developing new innovations. Worlds that had been poor under Alliance rule were growing stronger through fair trade. We learned from Earth that living on a harsh world does not make you weak. A representative from a former Alliance world said, "It makes you creative. It makes you strong. And we learned from all of you that there are many different ways to solve problems." Sung-hoon replied, "The more we share our knowledge, the stronger we all become." The new charter passed with full agreement from all worlds. It guaranteed freedom for all species to develop in their own way. It created fair trade rules that helped everyone grow. Most importantly, it made sure no species could ever control others like the Alliance had done. After the session, Sung-hoon met with the Earth Defense Force commanders. Admiral Beck's ships still patrolled space, but now they protected trade routes and helped worlds in need. The Alliance's remnants are asking to join the new council. Sung-hoon told them. They say they understand their mistakes now. "And what did you tell them?" Admiral Beck asked. "That everyone deserves a chance to learn and grow. That's what Earth has always believed." Later that evening, Sung-hoon stood at the window of his office, looking at the stars. He remembered how the Alliance had called humans primitive because they came from a death world. They never understood that Earth's challenges had prepared humanity for something greater than conquest, the ability to build true cooperation among different species. Message from the Council, his assistant said. The first joint scientific mission is ready to launch. Ships from 20 different worlds working together to explore unknown space. Sung-hoon smiled. This was humanity's greatest victory, not defeating the Alliance, but showing the galaxy a better way forward. Earth had been called a death world, but it had taught the galaxy how to truly live.